This is Our Mundo Voices. They don't wear capes, but they're always there to save the day. This one's for you, dads. Hey, what's up, familia? This is Ashley G with Internal Comms, and in this new episode of Our Mundo Voices, we're joined by two of our very own unstoppable dads, Alfredo Oropeza, also known as Chef Oropeza on hoyDía, and Ricdamis Garcia, Vice President of Entertainment and Content, as we get ready to celebrate Father's Day. Chef Ric, welcome to the podcast.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchas gracias. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Hola, Ashley, familia Telemundo. I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
And we're so excited to have you here. So I want to start with the ultimate question we all want to know as we gear up for Father's Day. What is your favorite thing about being dad? Chef, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, I love everything about being a dad. My life changed since I became a dad. So, I'm in love with my kids.
Well said. Beautiful words right there. Ric, what about you?
It's actually seeing them grow up and become their own person, develop their personality. All of a sudden, I have two young boys at home, and observing them every day, what they do and how they become their own person. I think that's amazing.
Love that. I wish my dad would have said that when I asked him this question. So we had dinner 2 weeks ago, and out of curiosity, I asked him, Dad, what's your favorite thing about being dad? And he takes like a pause for 5-10 seconds. He looks into the distance while he's sipping on his Corona. And he goes to me, when you guys were little, it was cute and all, but after that, it was just such a whole big headache. And I didn't know how to take that. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm wanting to say that he was talking about our 15-year-old feisty Bichon Frise who has broken every single rule in the house and has lived rent-free his whole life. But that's a topic for another episode. Chef, you're a successful TV personality for hoyDía, known for your talent in the kitchen with more than 18 years of experience. Mientras todos cuentan contigo para sus recetas diarias todas las mañanas, después de eso, te vas a casa para ser papá de Marcelo, de 7 años, y de Lorenzo, de 12 años. I want to ask you the question they always ask mom, but they never ask dad. ¿Cómo equilibras tratar de cumplir con las demandas de tu trabajo como un chef reconocido y como el padre de 2 pequeños?
Well, actually, I try to run my days through a schedule, Procuro tener un calendario. And once it's written in a schedule, I try to stick to it. That way, I avoid getting in trouble,
Yeah.
There was a time when I used to work at least 45 weekends a year. But since Lorenzo turned 2 years, I decided to not do it like that anymore. Me estaba perdiendo mucho mientras yo estaba trabajando. He was growing and I was not there in order to see him grow. So that's when I decided that I should run my life through a schedule. And ha funcionado. It's working. At least now I know that I'm able to work 20 weekends a year. And I also try to stick at least Tuesday and Thursday. Those are the days that in the afternoon I try to pick them up at school and practice with them desde fútbol, soccer, el basketball, el fútbol americano. I would say that martes y jueves son nuestras tardes.
Absolutely. You make it a point to be present, which is the most important thing of it all when you're with them. That's amazing. And Ric, as our Vice President of Entertainment and Content, you also manage a demanding role that requires you to oversee some of our flagship shows like En Casa con Telemundo, La Mesa Caliente, Arrojo Vivo, and more. How are you balancing being a successful media executive and the father to 2 wonderful boys, Gael and Ian?
Well, first and foremost, a shout out and a big thank you to my wife, because it's a huge help in the balancing act.
Go, Mom.
Absolutely. I'm lucky because I get to take him to school every morning. And our commute is really long. It's about an hour commute. So that's an hour that I have with them. There's no radio. There's no phones. It's just us talking for an hour. So that's our moment of the day where we really connect with our mom. And that's, bonding time for the 3 of us, 2 boys and me. And then I go to work, and that's long hours every day. So by the time I get home, there's this thing that we developed at home that every time I walk into the door, they come to say hi. So no matter what happens, no matter how the day is going, what they're doing when I get home, they run to the door, they say hi, and oftentimes from there they go to bed because it's already so late. And then, as my wife calls me, I'm the weekend dad. So everything that happens on the weekend, it's organized by dad, all the fun events and, football practices, everything. I try to take them. So the weekends are mostly where I spend my entire day with them.
So dad is the fun one in the family, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
Love that. Love that. Chef, this is an interesting one, but what do you feel is harder? Is it harder to keep up with being a celebrity chef or with being the superhero to kids called dad?
I have to say, Ashley, that none of them is difficult for me, I really love my career. I enjoy being on air. I enjoy writing recipes. I enjoy being with live audiences. And I also love being with my kids. I think that probably I will agree when my kids grow up. I will agree with your father. Because, there's a say that my abuela used to mention, and it is something like, hijos chicos, problemas chicos. Hijos grandes, problemas grandes. So Lorenzo is 12 years old. He just turned 12. And Marcelito is 8 years old. So I haven't had any kind of trouble with them. So I enjoy both. My job, my work life, being a chef. And I also enjoy very, very much being a dad.
Preach on, and let's see what's to come, right? That's going to be an interesting journey for sure. Rick, what weren't you ready for or didn't expect when you became a father?
Oh my God, I was completely not ready for the days when they get sick. When they get sick, I could handle 3 daily shows, specials of La Virgen de Guadalupe, Miss Universe, and anything else programming throws at me. And I could juggle multiple things at the same time. When they get sick, I get paralyzed. So my wife already knows that when they're sick, she has to kick into action because I get paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to ask for. So I was definitely not ready for that. And kids get sick very often. So, and it's funny because my wife looks at me and she says, come on, you do live television every single day and you don't know how to react. I do not know how to react when they get sick. So that's the one thing that I was not ready for. My oldest is 13 already and I'm still not ready for it. Luckily, he can speak and say, oh, it hurts here, me duele aquí, me duele allá. But even then, I'm still not ready to deal with it. So that's the one thing that I don't know if I'll ever get over it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, Rick. That's when you feel really fragile,
Powerless. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Rick, I wanted to say this story when we first invited you to be part of this podcast and I was talking to you a little bit about the questions we were going to ask. I remember just hearing the anxiety in your voice when you were talking about this.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's just insane. This next question is for both of you, but going back in time, what learnings did you take from your own father that you still use to this day in your life or profession? Chef, we'll start with you.
Well, I have to say that I learned from my father discipline, commitment, being accountable, not just for the family, but also for the people that surrounded him. And I try to stick to that. And I think I should say also that my abuelo, my grandfather, also taught me that, and that's what I'm trying to teach to Lorenzo and Marcelo, but through my actions. I never give them like a speech about being accountable. I try to be accountable for them, and of course for my wife, for my brother, for my sister. They get to learn through my actions. That's how I learned it. So that would be the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you, I totally agree with you when you said that, because when you said discipline, that reminded me of my dad as well. I remember growing up, just to throw a story at you, all my friends would talk about how they would sleep in on Saturdays till 12 p.m., 1 p.m., and that was unheard of in my house. That was a sin. in my house. My dad would make sure my sister and I were wide awake by 8:30 a.m. to help my mom with the chores around the house, to help him with yard work too, because it's no lie, a house is a lot to maintain when you don't have a cleaning lady or a gardener. And I remember just complaining and throwing every tantrum in the book because I hated it. I hated it so bad. But the reason he was so big on that was because he and my mom had this thing that the house had to be cleaned by 12. You could do whatever you want after that. You could go back to sleep to catch up on sleep. You could go out with friends. But the house had to be cleaned by 12. And interesting enough, later in my life, I realized that simple routine was what helped set me up for success because it taught me respect for responsibility. And this is, I think, also the reason why so many of my colleagues make fun of me sometimes when we're in this open format environment at Telemundo Center. They can be throwing jokes left and right, and I'm like tunnel vision in my work. It's crazy. It's crazy how something so simple can kind of impact even your work style in the future. But anyway, Rick, tell us, what is your favorite learning from your father?
Oh, my father has his own business, so work ethics was always very important for him. And I learned that from him, and I pass it on to my kids as well. My kids' job right now is their school. So we treat school for them like their job, and we always talk about it. I'm also very lucky because my father is present on my kids' life. So he also passes whatever teachings from he has down to my kids. So my kids, in that sense, have two dads. They have me and they have my dad. And oftentimes, like if I can't make it to a school event or one of the soccer practices because of work, my dad steps in and he goes with them. So this Father's Day, I'm also celebrating my dad in a big way because he's still there for me every single time.
Absolutely. Arriba todos los abuelos también.
Oh,
porque
yeah.
la verdad
Yeah,
que
sí.
sí. Ellos también son parte del Día del Padre. And this next question, I want to shift gears a bit, but on the flip side, what things are your kids teaching you today that you're using in your life? In what ways do you wish you were more like them?
Well, I wish I'd be more like Marcelo, that he's always so unscripted, you know? You never know what he's going to say or how he's going to act. He's always so natural and happy. I mean, he's the youngest of the family, and he's always like a disaster, you know? He's always yelling and jumping. I wish I could be a little bit more like him on that end. And I think what they taught me also is about unconditional love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That will be el mayor aprendizaje que he tenido de ellos. Absolute joy. That's what they came to this universe. That's what they are giving me. Unconditional love, absolute joy, happiness. I hope that they don't get me canas verdes whenever they grow up.
I mean, you never know, but you'll still love them.
So far, no, yeah, of course I will love them forever. But so far, my life has been so enjoyable since they arrived.
Love that. Rick, what about you?
So my little one, Ian, he is so outgoing. He's the kind of kid that he arrives at a place and in 2 seconds he has friends. And I wasn't like that growing up. So that's something that I'm learning. We were just on vacation in Mexico. He got lost at the pool. When I looked over, he's playing with all these kids. And then he runs over to me and he's like, Dad, they're my friends. And I'm like, how did you make friends in 2 minutes? I never had that ability, so I admire that about him. And I hope that he continues to be that way because he's always going to be surrounded by people. And then my oldest one, he is this caring, loving kid. And mind you, we are all loving, caring people, but he's over the top. Es tan bueno y le gusta hacer cosas tan buenas por toda la familia. Tiene un sentido de servicio y de ayudar que la verdad yo lo admiro mucho and I learn from it every single day.
Absolutely. Well, speaking about your kids, here's another thing you would have never guessed they're great at. Keeping a secret to plan the ultimate surprise for each of you. So with the help of Mom, we were able to speak to them earlier, and let me tell you, they have quite some love for you. Check this out.
Oh my God.
First up, we have Ian and Gael. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Surprise! Surprise!
Ian, Gael, how does it feel to be on air with Dad now that school's out and summer has officially started?
Pretty fun. good because now we get to spend more time with him and he can take us places.
And we also get to spend more time with us at home, too. And we get to go to movie theaters.
Awesome. And what places is he taking you to this year?
We don't know, but most likely Africa.
Africa. That sounds like fun. Ian, can you share with us, what is your dad's superpower and why?
Flying because he always takes us places and we always enjoy it.
And what is your most favorite place that he's ever taken you to?
Paris.
Paris. Why Paris? What was your favorite food in Paris?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. That's always a winner. Ian, Gael, what do you want your dad to know this Father's Day? We'll start with you, Gael.
Oh, that we love him. We love him a lot. And that we're grateful for everything he's done for us. And that we hope we continue to have a lot of fun memories.
That's beautiful. What about you, Ian?
But I love him more than I could put in words.
That was so heartwarming. Boys, want to say a quick love you to Dad and goodbye to all of our listeners?
Bye.
I love you.
Oh, Rick, I see you kind of crying over there.
Wow, that is a surprise. Yeah, so we're a family that we travel a lot. We want to teach our kids that to be citizens of the world. So we do take in places. Our kids have been to China, Japan, Australia. But more than taking them places, the idea behind it is that we could actually learn together as a family about the world. So I'm super happy that he said all of the traveling stuff because we've put a lot into that. Africa is definitely on our bucket list for the year. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it because of COVID, but hopefully we get there soon. And then to hear them say, I love you. I mean, they say it every day, but to hear them say it now on the podcast, it's amazing. So thank you so much for the surprise. Best Father's Day gift ever, by the way.
Oh, you're going to make us all cry now. Stop. So that's why no wonder they said flying was your superpower. So you take them on family trips like what, every year?
Oh, absolutely. Since they were 6 months, we've been traveling with them everywhere.
Wow.
I didn't want fatherhood and then my wife's the same thing to stop us from enjoying the world and the things that we love to do. So since they were born, we take them along with us everywhere we go. There's no such thing as that flight is too long or too far. No, they go with us everywhere.
Como debe ser.
Oh, yeah.
Chef, are you ready for your surprise?
Oh, sí.
Let's roll with it. A continuación tenemos a Marcelo y a Lorenzo.
Sorpresa, papá.
Sorpresa, una gran sorpresa y bienvenidos al podcast, chicos. ¿Están listos para ser famosos ya que están al aire con papá?
Sí.
Buenísimo. Entonces cuéntenos, ¿qué es lo mejor que cocina su papá ya que es un chef?
Pasta con salsa Alfredo.
Pasta con salsa Alfredo, suena buenísimo. Y tú, Lorenzo, cuéntanos, ¿qué es lo mejor que cocina tu papá para ti?
Los desayunos, por ejemplo, huevo con espárrago o con tocino.
¡Wow! ¡Qué bueno tener un chef en la casa! Marcelo, además de cocinar, ¿cuál es el superpoder de tu papá y por qué?
Nadar conmigo porque él siempre es muy buena onda conmigo.
¡Wow! ¿Y ustedes van mucho a la playa y a la piscina y todo eso?
Sí.
Y bueno, niños, ¿qué les quieren decir ustedes a su papá para el Día del Padre? Lorenzo, empezamos contigo.
Que lo queremos mucho y lo amamos. Y que es un muy buen papá.
Buenísimo. Y Marcelo, ¿tú qué le quieres decir a tu papá?
Que lo quiero muchísimo, es el mejor papá del mundo y lo amo.
Ahí lo escuchaste, chef, el mejor papá del mundo. ¿Quieren cerrar diciéndole a su papá cuánto lo quieren y decirle adiós a todos sus fans?
¡Te amamos!
¡Te amamos!
Bye.
Bueno, chef, ¿qué te pareció?
No, increíble, increíble, Ashley. Mil gracias por la sorpresa.
Entonces, ¿la natación es tu otro superpoder?
Y sí, o sea, mi superpoder es decirles que sí a todo lo que me pidan, ¿no? O al menos eso es lo que intento. Y sí, les encanta que estemos en la alberca y que juguemos mientras estamos dentro de la alberca, etcétera. Sí.
Buenísimo, buenísimo. Bueno, tienen unos hijos que los quieren mucho, que los quieren bastante. Y con eso, Chef Rick, muchas gracias. Thank you for being with us here today and for sharing your heartfelt stories. Also, a big shout out to your superstar kids. For all of our listeners out there, let us know how you're celebrating El Día del Padre by sharing your father's most valuable lessons in the comments. Happy Father's Day to all of the unstoppable dads in our mundo y hasta la próxima.